In this video, we have the Felipe, who is from Instantly.ai, which is an 8-figure cold email software. In this exclusive content that is one of the Agency U group calls, we go over the exact strategies and tools that you can use to scale your cold email outreach for your agency. We cover everything from what the top companies are using from a cold email perspective to set hundreds of appointments every single month, how to automate your setup, how to craft an irresistible offer so that you can start booking more meetings and drive revenue immediately for your business. And this isn't just theory, this is the same process that's helped me generate millions inside of my content agency, as well as the thousands of users that are already using Instantly. So if you're serious about scaling your agency with cold email, stick around because this is something that I wish I would have seen years ago.
Basically the purpose of today, so we have Felipe, and he is a leader at Instantly. We've worked together for, I don't know, a year and a half, probably. I help Instantly with content, a user of Instantly at Retargeting. Just for context, like we send thousands of emails every single day, and we use Instantly to do that. So I've been a big fan of the product, and then Instantly and myself created a personal relationship and really like the tool. Teach on cold email inside of Agency U. And I think it's only going to get better with a lot of the new innovations that Instantly has made to the tool. So I think today what is going to be really helpful is if we can just talk about cold email, like what is cold email, talk a little bit about that. And then I'm going to have Felipe just do a demo on Instantly and specifically how we can do a technical setup, why it's important to do a technical setup correctly, how we can now do it without any roadblocks, finding leads, how we can get access to how many people are in the database, Felipe? 800 million?
Yeah, 200 million for the moment, but it should be like double.
Okay, 200 million emails through Instantly, so we don't have to use like a lead finder tool, and just like the ability to use that. Creating campaigns and writing copy through Instantly, and then any technical questions that you guys have. So if you guys have used cold email before and there's been like frustrations, now's your time to let the man know so he can change on it. But it's been really cool because I really like how innovative Instantly is. Like it's not like they just do one thing and focus on one thing. It's like they're constantly trying to innovate and make life easier for agencies and for businesses so that we can use cold email to reach more people at the end of the day. So Felipe, why don't you just do a quick intro of yourself and how long you've been at Instantly, and like share like users at Instantly, who you're helping at Instantly, all that sort of stuff. This is your time to kind of humble brag.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for working with us, Austin. Like we really love working with you. We consider you a friend, actually. So yeah, you've been with us from the beginning. Right now, we have more than 20,000 customers at Instantly. And we have one of the largest communities of cold email. We have like more than 40,000 members in our community. And yeah, like myself, like I've been doing cold email for more than 10 years. Well, I hope you excuse like my accent a little bit. Like I tend to sound a little bit like Sofia Vergara, but without like the body, unfortunately. But yeah, if you don't get like anything, like just tell me and I will repeat it in a better English. But yeah, so far, we've been very happy working with Austin. Like he's been a great representing our brand with the YouTube channels. He's amazing at marketing. And long story short, our goal is to help you guys make more revenue and book more meetings. That's the goal behind Instantly. So we created this software to like scale your sending capabilities. That was like the core where we started. And we actually use our own software to grow Instantly. I will be giving you a glimpse on how we do that, best practices, how like the top performers use cold email. Like a lot of people, like we want to separate things first. Like cold email is not spam. Like we hate spam. Everyone hates spam. Like you probably all have like emails in your inbox that you're like, oh, God damn it. Like I got another one of those. We hate those kind of emails. We want emails that are valuable, that, people are always willing to respond to. And I will be explaining to you how we make that happen, right? We usually structure those in 4 pillars, which we call the 4 pillars of a successful email. So I usually tell people like you need these 4 components in order to make an email get a response, in order to get a new client. They're very straightforward. A technical setup, like a good technical setup, DNS records instantly, and so on. It can be another tool as well. Then a good copy, meaning don't try to sell ice to the Eskimos, don't try to sell meat to a vegan. It's not going to work. So the copy and the message has to be clean, sharp, short and sweet. and deliver value. Basically, like a lot of people, they send emails and they're like in the first email, like, hey, let's meet. Is this pretty much the same as if you approach someone on the street that you like or you found attractive and you told them, hey, marry me? Like that stuff is going to be creepy. It's not going to work. You have to go step by step, build trust, build a relationship with people before you go for the kill. But it's always like a step-by-step process. And cold email is pretty much one among the first steps that you want to do. And then like, follow the following steps. The third component is data. So you want to have a good database, whether it's like scraping LinkedIn or other sources, but you want to make sure that you have good data. Like some people will say like, hey, I have this massive database with like all of these people. And then, they will be like, hey, like after a few weeks of trying like a campaign, like a cold email campaign, they'll be like, hey, this is not working. And when we ask them for questions about like some of these components, they will be, yeah, the data that we had, it was not like, I got it from a friend and they just send like a mass email to like a bunch of people, but they have no clue who they're targeting. So that's why it's very important that you match your solution with the right people. So if your ICP, if your ideal target is, let's say, doctors, that you make sure database is doctors in, with this certain profile that are going to be likely to buy your product, and whatever it is, has to be good data. And the last component, it's kind of obvious, but still probably the most important one of all four, the offer. A good offer will by far deliver better results than any of the other three components combined. So you need to make sure that whatever you're offering is a no-brainer. And some metrics say that you need 3 to 10 times better outcomes to whatever you're offering in order to make someone change products. So it doesn't matter if you're like the best salesperson in the world. I feel like today everyone has access to like sales strategies and so on. So I feel like when you're approaching someone with like some of these mind games or like trying to outplay them, like they will realize. And just trying to outsmart people today doesn't work. So a good offer is just like the key component in order to get someone to buy your product and stay with you long term. It's not only about selling something, but it's also about them staying with you. So then we're back at the ice to, not trying to sell ice to the Eskimos and meat to a vegan. So a quick...
Can you answer something real quick for us? Because I think some people like on this call have like maybe dabbled in cold email, or they've sent cold emails just like from their Gmail, or they've like signed up for Instantly. Like, what are you seeing from the perspective of people using cold email, specifically agencies? Like, if you have any data on like success for agencies using cold email, what are some of the success stories that come to your mind from agencies, so that when they're hearing you, they're like, okay, wow, this is like worth the time to like write really good copy and like do all this stuff. Like, who are you seeing crush it with it from the agency perspective? And does it work?
So that's a really good question. So the ones that we see crushing are the ones who follow these 4 elements like strictly, because then, often I will meet someone that will be like, hey, I have like such a good offer. And then we look at their copy and it looks like garbage, like absolute garbage, and the way they're, let's say, framing the message is like, it sounds like scammy. So that's why the 4 components are very important. So, we can go like a deep dive into each one of them. The other thing that I feel it's very important when sending cold emails is just testing different angles. So the one thing that cold email kind of helps you very quickly is to see if you're targeting the right person with the right offer. And some people will feel like, hey, I got no results from this campaign, but in reality, you literally just did a speed run on testing this hypothesis that you had, that this was the ideal target for you. Some people will be like, hey, this like I think like marketing directors in Arizona are the perfect buyer for my product. And then you contacted every single marketing director we offer via cold email, and there you go. You just save yourself months and months of like hypothetically thinking that maybe that's the ideal target. But in just 1 month or maybe weeks, you contacted them all, and they all got your pitch, and barely anyone was interested in your offer. And you actually save time in the future, and now you can shift towards a better offer. And I mean, hopefully in those weeks that you send the campaign, you got results, right? But in the worst case scenario, you still got something out of it. You tested your hypothesis. So I think the whole key behind success that we've noticed among our top performing users is sticking to the 4 pillars, but also testing different copies different angles, and testing different databases and also buyer personas until you find the right one. Alex Hormozi, and we did a webinar with Alex Hormozi once. Unfortunately, Austin couldn't be there, but we tried to make it happen, so that he was part of the webinar. You will find on our YouTube channel. We actually asked him this question. We asked him, what is the key component in order to have a successful cold email campaign, right? Even though we know this, we wanted to hear his opinion. And he said it's lead magnets. And he's right about that one, because it's like a good lead magnet. It's something that is aligned between the offer and the copy, right? Because you're framing, like if you phrase something the right way, but also you offer something very, very valuable, it's related to both the offer and the copy. So you nailed 2 out of 4. So I would say if someone is struggling right now with getting results, like just keep trying different angles, keep trying different buyer personas, keep trying different databases, keep trying different copies, and try to check your lead magnet. Try to put yourself on the shoes of the other person. And if the other person, for example, like send the email to, like imagine you're sending the email to yourself and just think to yourself, will I respond to this email if I receive this as of today? Considering that I'm getting bombarded with my emails. How am I standing out from all of those emails? How am I delivering value and making sure that it's absolutely irresistible? So that's the principle you want to start from.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And you guys have 20,000 users currently on Instantly, so
yeah,
clearly
we have 20,000 users, and we send via our platform 1.5 billion emails, 50 million emails per day.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And actually let me start from showing you some results, because I want to start from like the kind of stuff that you guys could make happen if you do it the right way. So don't show this to our competitors, of course, because it's part of our secret sauce. But I'm going to show you the campaigns we send, because we like to practice what we preach. So we definitely use Instantly to grow instantly. And this is one of our accounts. And then if I go to the analytics tab, and then I check for the past 12 months. Yeah, it's the wrong. Yeah, it's this one. So these are all the emails that we have sent over the past 12 months. So we have sent 400,000 emails. And well, the reply rate, it shows like almost 0 because we disable the open rates. We don't track opens because it inserts a pixel and that reduces deliverability and blah, blah, blah. And the average reply rate we have had out of those 400,000 emails where we send emails to sell our own service is around 3%. Usually somewhere between 1 and 10% is good. Anywhere below 1%, you should double check like the 4 components I just explained. And if you're above 10%, you're like top performer. We have users, and I myself, I will show you some campaigns where I get like above 15%, and I will show you what I do to get above 15%. And overall, from these 12 months sending emails, we have generated almost $2 million in revenue for Instantly. So that's, it's like, obviously at Instantly, we are past $20 million of revenue. So yeah, this is definitely one of the components for success for us. And well, some of these users also churn and, then they cancel later. So it's not like 2 million exact, but it definitely helps. So how do we start? So how about I start with, how do you set all of this? So how do you get this?
Maybe it could be cool. Like if I'm watching this, I haven't done cold email, I've never used Instantly. Maybe just going through the 4 components and then like showing how I could make sure my tech setup is dialed in, my data is dialed in, where I can find leads, how I write copy, creating a campaign, and then analyzing it, kind of what you're showing right now.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, that's a great idea.
That sounds good. Put a 1 in the chat if that sounds good. And guys, feel free to ask questions in the chat too, for us, so that we can make sure that we're addressing everything as it is specified to what they're talking about. Cool. We'll go through the 4 components. Okay, cool. Yeah,
amazing. So if you haven't tried Instantly, and I'm gonna throw something for friends of Austin. If you go to instantly.ai and you don't have an account, you just click here and start for free. And if you start using instantly, just contact our support team and we'll give you a 10% discount. Just ask our support team and they'll probably double check with me. Hey, is it true that we have a 10% discount? Just mention that Felipe just offer you a 10% discount and they'll give you a 10% discount, just in case you want to give it a try. This is only for the ones attending today's webinar.
There's a free trial, right?
Yeah, so if you click on start a free trial, you're gonna see something like this, right? Like just an empty screen. So the first step that you want to follow is connect your email accounts, right? Now I could spend like 30 minutes or maybe more explaining the whole technical process, because here you have two options, right? You have connect a new email account where you follow the step by step on how to connect your accounts and then DNS records and so on and so on. Well, we have automated all of that. We are the first provider that has automated the entire technical setup process. So we have something called done for you email setup. You just click here, and the first thing you will do is you will type the domain that you want. So and I'm gonna call it Brangetic. I think I'm gonna misspell it here, but so if I type any domain here, the system is gonna start suggesting some alternative domains. So for some reason here it didn't pick it up right, or maybe it's taken. There it is. So as you can see, the first thing we want to do is create something called alternative domains. So why wouldn't we use our main domain? The example or the reason behind is very simple. I want you to imagine that you have a really nice suit that costs $5,000 or a really nice dress, whatever, and you only want to use that really nice suit or dress for like special occasions, right? Like for like a nice cocktail party or for a wedding, something like that. You do not want to use it for like painting your house or cleaning, right? Because you're gonna rent it. So it's exactly the same with your main domain. Your main domain is the one that you only want to use to answer key questions when someone is asking for a proposal, when it's something like really important. Why? Because if people report that domain as spam, your entire availability for that domain is just gonna drop, and that's why you want to use alternative domains. Something like if my main domain is brangetic.com, you want to have domains like nowbrangetic.com, teambrangetic.com, meetbrangetic.com, and so on and so on. So that way you're having domains that look similar, but you're not putting your main domain at risk. And the next step is, instantly you just select all of these domains, right? And then I can purchase them here. I click on next, and then I can create, I can create 3 email accounts for each one of these domains. Super easy, and then I just click on place order and pay, and that's about it. We'll take care of the rest. We will configure the email accounts, connect them into instantly, and they will start warming up. You can also do this on your own, right? You can go to like GoDaddy, buy the domain, then go to Google or Microsoft, or Outlook, buy the email accounts and do all the DNS records. I'm not gonna cover that the whole technical process because now it's a bit unnecessary since we automated all of this for you guys. You can buy the email accounts.
Yeah, this is huge, by the way. Like, I would not set it up yourself because there's so much like margin for error. Like, this done for you email setup is one of the reasons why I wanted to get Felipe on here, because it's literally like saves you hours and hours and hours and hours having to do that. Like, massive benefit. Is there like a cost difference from like doing it yourself versus the done for you setup?
Oh, 100%. So, before I think just to like explain how much time it saves. It's not just time, but like before or even today, right? Like a lot of providers hate us for launching this feature because a lot of companies or agencies, they will charge like $500,000, $1,000 to set up your email infrastructure. Now you can do it for free. I mean, not for free, but like with 2 clicks, right? And we get you the email accounts for even less than you going and buy, like basically you having to go and buy them from Google. Like on Google, they cost like, I think $7, $8. We get them because we get a bulk discount. We basically charge you $5. We barely make any money on the email accounts. Our goal here is to automate the process. So you pay $5 per email account, $15 per domain. We do charge a bit extra because of the technical setup process, but they cost us the domain dollars. Basically, if you go to like any domain register, so it's minimal. Like the amount of money we make is literally to cover the cost. So overall, considering all the time that you're saving and the potential cost that it will incur into like hiring an agency, you're saving not just time but hundreds of dollars, right? And as an agency, like you could resell this as a service easily. Like if you're contacting any company and telling them, hey, I'm gonna set up like an entire email, like cold email process for you guys. Like they don't have to know that now you have access to this kind of stuff that is fully automated. You can literally just charge them, yeah, I'm gonna charge $500 and I'm gonna set all of this up for you. Like you just do click, 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 and you like literally just charge them $500 for doing that. You know, just giving you an idea of like how to make easy and quick money. It's just ridiculously easy now, because before some people would charge for doing this manually, and a lot of people still don't know. Like we launched this last week, so yeah, there is still room for opportunity for people. Now, once you have connected the email, like a few email accounts, it's gonna look like this. So let me show you an account with a few domains connected. So you're gonna see all of your email accounts connected here, right? And then you're going to see something called the warm-up score, right? So we are basically doing something on autopilot while you're sleeping, absolutely on autopilot, which is called the warm-up. The warm-up is an AI that generates human-like conversations between all of the email accounts connected to our platform. And that way we make Google and Outlook believe that every single email coming out of your email accounts or your domains is legit and should land on the inbox. So we have automated this process as well. We are only in for automation. And that way, when you're sending cold emails, the likelihood to land on the inbox is much, much higher, because Google and Outlook believes that every single email coming out of your inbox is reliable, so you should land on the inbox, and so on and so on. So you will see here the health score for each one of your email accounts. And the warm-up is literally like our bread and butter. It's like the main component behind how do we make sure you land on the inbox, even if you're sending thousands of emails from instantly or from your email accounts. That's the main difference from our product. Now, this is working again on autopilot, so you literally don't have to worry about anything. You know, once the email accounts are connected and the warm-up is enabled, that's it. What's next?
How long do we do the warm-up? How long do we have to warm up the emails?
That's a good question. So ideally, we recommend 2 to 3 weeks before sending campaigns in order for the warm-up to take effect. And the reason behind this is because usually the domain registers and the email account providers like Google and Outlook, they keep a very close eye on new domains, right? So if you all of a sudden buy a domain and some email accounts, they're gonna look at it very suspiciously if like from day one you're sending a very high volume of emails. Yeah. So that's why like it takes around 2 to 3 weeks in order for these providers to like trust you more or less. So it's just about building reputation in a way. So like a real life example for the warm up, because sometimes it can be a bit too technical for people, is I want you to imagine it like a tea party, or like, you know, you're just in a, you know, you go into a bar, right? And you don't know anyone in the bar. So instantly it's like that one buddy that knows every single person at the bar, and it will start introducing you to every single person at the bar. And then after one point, your reputation goes up, everyone knows you. And then, you know, if you want to ask for, I don't know, like a favor to someone there, or like they're not going to give you a weird look, right? So that's what Instantly does here. It just introduces you to people and just increase the likelihood that the servers trust you when you're sending cold emails, right? So the next thing is the databases, right? So you have two paths here. Like you could get your own databases, like you can use other providers. There are a lot of providers out there to get databases. Like it's not like we think we have the best database in the world. Like I would be lying to you if I told you like these are the best databases. Only use Instantly. No, I think you should combine different database providers. So it's good to like, you know, have different options.
And when you say database, you mean like people to actually reach out to?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know, and like finding people in your niche. So if I serve like real estate agents, I could search for a real estate agent. If I serve mortgage people, I could do that. If I serve coaches, cool.
Exactly. So yeah, exactly. So we have something called the Lead Finder, which is just a massive database with 200 million people and growing. And you can use all of these filters, right, to like start targeting people. So for example, let's say that I want to target every single CEO, right? So I'm going to use here the filter CEO in the US. And let's say, I'm going to play here with the filters a little bit. So let's say that I want to target every single company that is right now hiring. So I have here the filter hires, or I have different filters actually, but I'm going to use the hiring filter. So right now, there are 35,000 companies hiring, and and I have the email here of each one of those CEOs from those companies. So why will this be relevant to you? Because these are high intent, like these are companies growing. Any company hiring is a company that has the money to keep growing, right? So whatever you're offering to them at the right time. And here you have other filters like the job listing filter, right? So the job listing filter allows you to target even more specifically based on the job, on the role that the company is hiring for. So for example, I could here use let's say the word sales director, and I will be targeting companies that are right now hiring for sales directors. And that is super high intent data, because it means that those companies specifically, they're looking to grow and invest into increasing their revenue. So if your offer is directly related to that, like it's just the right time, like if you have a good offer to increase revenue and you're contacting the CEO of a company, hey, I see you're hiring for a sales director. I'm not interested in applying to the role, but I have this great service or product that could help you grow your revenue because of X, Y, Z. Perfect timing. Now, once you have like gather your email databases, like you basically got a list of target people, either via the email finder or like you did your own scrape or whatever it is. The next step is the campaigns, right? So you click on campaigns, you click here on add new, so you name your first campaign. So I'm gonna open like any of these campaigns. So actually, yeah, let me show you like a real campaign. So how about this one in Berlin, Germany, or in Stockholm? Like we launch campaigns all over the world. This one in London, actually. Why not? So let's say this is your first campaign, right? So what's the first thing you want to do is you go here to leads, and you will click here on add leads, and you will be able to import your own databases if you bring your own, right? If you push them from the lead finder, from the database that I was showing you before, they will show up here, and all the leads will be fully verified and ready to use. Like we clean the data, they're fully verified, they're just ready to use. So we just do clicks, they will show up here.
When you say verified, what does that mean? Because I think that's a super important thing. Just if you're getting a database from not Lead Finder, or if you're getting a database from a different place, like what do you mean when you say verified, and why is that important?
Yeah, oh, that's an amazing question. Like a lot of people, they don't verify their contacts. And why is it so relevant? It's because databases expire. So this means that, well, it's just like at any company, right? Like at any company, people start leaving, right? Like they switch jobs or people get fired. So every month, every database that you have will start changing. And if you don't verify those databases, your emails will start bouncing. And if your emails start bouncing, this affects your deliverability, and it can end up burning your entire campaign or your domain. So it's like a domino effect. So based on this component is why it's super relevant and important to always verify your list. Even if you send a campaign, let's say 6 months to exactly the same list, you still need to verify just in case, just to remove any person who left the company, who got fired, who, like anything is possible. So you always want to have like super updated data that will not bounce. A bounce is whenever you send an email and then you get a reply, this person does not exist. When that happens, if you have too many bounces, you basically can put at risk your entire campaign. All the accounts that you have just set up, they can get burned. So it's super, super important. So if you're getting databases from another source, verify them. If you're getting them from Instantly, they get automatically verified because we know how important it is. So yeah, great one.
Thank you for clarifying.
So the next step is the sequences. So here is where you build the message, right? So, and basically here, for example, this is basically the message that we're using for this specific target. And you guys are lucky because we are actually about to launch a feature tomorrow that I'm going to show you now. So you're the first ones to hear about this. It's called AI Generator. So what this does is it basically generates a whole set of emails. Actually, I'm going to do it from scratch, just not to mess up the campaign. So I'm going to do a brand new campaign here. And I'm going to use this feature that basically creates the entire email sequence for you using AI. So you do not have to like be a copywriter anymore. So I'm going to call it here test campaign. I'm going to start this one from scratch. And I'm going to go to sequence here, and I'm going to use the AI generator. So, oh, what?
You gotta upgrade
have
your
a bit.
plan over there. Dang.
Let me switch accounts. Yeah, sometimes that happens. I have too many accounts here. So here. Sorry for that. One thing. There we go.
Nice.
So this is the first step. So we basically, the AI is going to ask you a few questions about your company and what you're offering, and it's going to make the entire email sequence for you. So you do not longer have to think or be a copywriter in order to make a campaign. So let's start with the first one. So what's your company? So I'm going to use, call it instantly, and then try to explain in 3 or 4 lines that, what does your campaign, your company do? So yeah, I can use this one. So instantly helps you book more meetings via call. So let's see if that works. So who is your target? So I'm going to use this one, agencies and B2B companies, right? And then the last one is case studies, right? So you can use some case studies here from some of your clients. I'm going to use, let's say, one from Austin. Maybe we can say something like, we have helped agency owners like Austin generate over $1 million in annual revenue. I'm making this up. I don't know if he has, but yeah. And then how many steps do you want in the sequence? I'm going to do 5, right? Like I just want a lot of steps in the sequence. Usually we do not recommend like more than 5, but it's up to you because, you don't want to like piss people off, like send too many emails. And let's see what it does. And there goes the magic. So this weird, like if you see this random thingy here at the beginning, it's a nice extra touch that we're adding. It's called spin tags. So what spin tag does is increases the deliverability by creating different versions of the same message, right? That basically mean the same, but they basically are different words. So then we combine all of these different words and we send the same message, right? But then this makes the email less likely to land the spam folder because on the eyes of Google and Outlook, you're sending different messages, right? So we're combining here the hi with the can we scale, like we call, with the cheers, and so on and so on. So we combine all of these different words, right? And then craft a message. So let's look at this message first. So, so I'm going to use this sequence. Why not? And then we have inserted it. So we created a 5-step sequence here. I'm going to preview this. It will say hi there because we don't have the first name yet. We need to import the data. But I notice, say here it says I notice is doing because also it has to insert the company name because there is a company variable here. So when I have the company data, it will also insert it. So it will say something like, "Hey, first name." Random. Put Dylan. This is just an example, right? And then I'm gonna put Facebook, whatever. So now it looks way better. So hi Dylan, I noticed Facebook is doing some great work in the B2B space, and instantly we specialize in helping companies like yours book more media via call email. For example, we have helped all agency owners like Austin generate over $1 million in ARR, and then it will randomize this last line, right? But yeah, long story short, it just does a lot of the legwork for you. So if you want, you can generate the whole message yourself, right? If not, we have an AI that can do it for you. And that's basically the last step. Like literally, after that, all you have to do is just launch the campaign, right? Once you have sent the campaign, you will see the results here. So let me switch accounts back because these are actually the campaigns we use instantly, and it's part of our secret sauce. So we don't want a competitor finding out like exactly how we send the campaigns. They will be like, oh, they generate $2 million in revenue. I want to do the same. So let me do something. I'm still going to show you actual campaigns, but they're not ours directly. All right. So these are actually from a client, and this person is always happy to share their campaigns because for them it's harmless. All right, so let me go back to why not this one from Boston? Actually, I think they have one here recently from New York. Let's open this one from New York, right? So these guys from this campaign, they have sent so far 2,300 emails, and they've gotten a 3.8% reply rate. It's not bad. They've gotten 91 replies, and out of these, 32 are opportunities, right? So 32 companies have said, yes, let's do it, let's buy, let's whatever it is, right? Which is not bad for 2,400 emails. Now, some of the components for success for these guys, I think that the first thing that you can see here is they're testing different angles all the time. So they're testing different copies and different messages. So testing, very important until you see what's working and what's not. Creating different steps, also very important. If you look at their sequence, they use the spin text thingy that I was mentioning to you. So they randomize like different words in order to stand up, in order to land on the inbox, in order to improve the deliverability. And yeah, that's about it. Like basically, and they have a killer offer. Like literally, like they are not trying to sell anything on the first email. They are literally like, like, are you interested in receiving a group of talented students? So, and then I think they do the hook and they, make a call happen and they pitch their service and but they're not trying to sell anything on their email. And that's something I really respect from people like this. Like they really crack the code by understanding that no one likes to buy things. I mean, no one likes to be sold something. People like to buy things, but they don't like to be sold something, right? So they crack the code by getting people interested. And then once they have them on the call, they start delivering value until they close the call. And then you have like a bunch of other settings that, I don't want to cover because it would be like,
yeah. Could you show, if you're able to, maybe on this campaign or a different campaign, just like the Unibox, because we have like hundreds of emails that we're using, but like where does this all go to, and how do we stay organized when people do respond? Because like if we were sending 1,000 emails a day, let's call it, like are they going to be forwarded to my email and I got to sort through them, or what does that look like?
Yeah, that's a great one. So yeah, in the Unibox, basically is where you can manage all of those replies under one place. So Unibox, Unified Inbox, not the most creative name. I didn't name it like that, so it was someone else. But yeah, long story short, here you can manage every single email account connected into Instantly. So if you have 100, 200, 500 inboxes, you can basically manage all of those replies here under one place. And we have an AI that categorizes all of the replies as positive or negative or and such. So, you basically know ahead what's, here, how many positive or negative replies you're getting, all of this in autopilot. Another cool thing from the Unibox is that you can basically use macros, meaning you can use templates in order to reply, right? So you can, like with 2 clicks, reply back. And even better, we have something called an AI inbox manager. So if you turn that on, it will reply on autopilot to your email. It's like having an AI assistant that will reply to your emails. And this AI, it's going to learn on what type of replies you have done in the past, right? And then it's going to start replying to this, like using the same language, basically. And when it's not too confident, it's just not going to respond. It's not going to do it, not going to do anything. But the success ratio we've found with it is like somewhere between 80 to 90%. Like usually it gets it right 80 to 90% of the time. And if it's not confident, it's just not going to do anything. It's not going to reply, but it's getting better and better. So it's a cool feature to, if you have like a high volume of replies and, you want to cut your expense or automate things that you do not need to hire someone to manage replies, we have an AI for that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it on a macro level.
This is great.
The last thing that is for free is we have basically summarized all of this stuff, everything about cold email, into what we call the Instantly Accelerator platform. So literally, rather than having to pay like a guru like $5,000 for teaching you about cold email, you can find all of that for free here, right? And yeah, we just go like step by step, like full deep dive in copywriting, and we show you every single thing you need to know about copywriting. And then the same for everything, like optimizing your campaigns, getting leads, the setup, everything. So yeah, even sales. I just noticed we have a sales guy.
Sure. Felipe, is it cool if we open it up to some questions from people?
100%. Yeah.
Cool. Let me just go in order. I think Steven had some questions. I'll just go through what's written. What are you seeing as best practice for high reply and response rates? Is it a high valuable lead magnet? And if so, what's the mechanism of the lead magnet? Is it like a PDF that they're sending? Is it a personalized Loom video? Is it a video? Like what specifically are you seeing work well?
Yeah, I think it really depends on who you're targeting. And also, yeah, it really depends on who you're targeting. But overall, like the format doesn't really matter much as long as, you know, like the person sees value in it. So it comes back on if you were that one person, right? Let's say you're targeting people in the finance industry who are super busy. Like, let's face it, like if you're targeting people in the finance industry, they're probably super busy, making lots of money. Like they're like super hard to get. So you need to think of a lead magnet that will truly get their interest. So what would be like a good lead magnet? Well, they don't have time. So maybe if you send them a lead magnet that tells them like, you know, something along those lines, you know, like, could I send you like a quick 30-second video, like something super short and sweet on how to ABC, and that solves a real problem for them, right? So for example, I don't know, right now, like I really need to like get into better habits in terms of like eating and exercising because I've been working too much here instantly. So if someone right now send me an email like offering me like a great coaching, like a fitness coaching program for like executives at fast growing companies, is the perfect timing. And they offer it to me like really well, like, hey, 30 seconds, I'm gonna explain to you how it works, because I'm also super busy. So I'm very interested, but also super busy. So it really depends how you phrase the lead magnet. Just my main advice here is really try to understand how the other person thinks and then phrase that lead magnet accordingly. But as Alex Formosa said, lead magnet is like the best way to improve the performance on your, and not just on cold email, but also on any marketing channel, really. So yeah.
So,
yeah, but at least to me, like if you send me a book and you offer me like a lead magnet with a book with 100 pages, I probably will not take the time to read it. But again, it depends on your audience. You're targeting people who like, let's say professors, and they love reading, and you offer them like 100-page lead magnet, they will love it probably. So it really depends.
I think testing them out is going to be beneficial, and testing out different angles of how you promote it and do copy on it. So going back to the AI generated email, how does so if we're getting a list, if we're getting data, like how do we exclude emails that are like contact app or hello app or sales app or info apps? Like how do we prevent that at scale?
Yeah, I mean that's a good. I mean there are two quick ways you can do that. So you can just filter those. You can go to the campaign section and then type like sales, hello, or like any of those words, and then just remove the emails like in mass. Actually, the first step I will recommend you is try to good database provider, right? Because a good database provider will not give you like generic emails. You do not want to contact generic emails usually because they're just gonna, it looks like you got the database from like the dark web or something like that. You want to get ideally personal emails. And then if you were to clean the data, you could also use a feature called AI prompts. So we also have integrated ChatGPT into instantly, and you can use prompts. So you can make a prompt literally and tell OpenAI or ChatGPT, hey, remove any email account that looks generic, right? That starts with something like sales at, hello, contact at, remove all of those. And then the AI will remove them. So yeah, that would be one easy way of doing it as well. Or just simply like use ChatGPT. Like you can import the list into ChatGPT and just ask ChatGPT, remove any email accounts from this file because now it can work on files. So
Josiah Josiah asks a loaded question. Who's this for? Like, who should be using instantly, and then who should not be using instantly?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. So I will say that people should be using cold email in general, or instantly, as long as they have a valuable offer at a decent price. That means that if your product is worth, let's say, $5, this is gonna serve you more for brand awareness. So for people to know that your product exists, rather than generating sales. Because you will need to have such a high volume. I mean, you can still make it happen, but you will need to have a really high volume of emails sent out in order to, like, get sort of like momentum and revenue from it. Instead, if you have an offer that, let's say, is worth like $50 or $100, like our product costs $100, right? And we've generated $2 million with it using cold email. So I would say start from like a decent amount, like your ticket is like a decent amount. It's a very important component. Like we have clients that they're in the real estate industry or in the insurance industry, and they're absolutely killing it because, as I show you, like this one guy, this one company that was launching this campaign in New York or in Boston I can't remember. They got 32 replies, positive replies, people saying yes out of 2,000 emails. Their offer is actually worth like something like $1,000. So for them, it's absolutely worth it because with just one person buying their product, like they paid like an entire year of instantly that costs $100 per month. So yeah.
Does that answer your question, Josiah?
And
yeah, it actually totally does 100%.
Yeah, and the other thing that I would like to add to that is usually cold email doesn't work so well for personal email accounts, meaning that if you have a database of like personal emails, it usually doesn't work. I mean, you need to have a very good offer in order for it to work because people get a bit spooky when you email them to their personal email. I mean, none of us likes that, like if I receive an email in my personal email account, I'm like, where do you get my email address? I usually give that to my family, friends, like, and if it's something work related, sure, like you can email me there, but like, so I think that's the other case, some people, I don't know, they will have like an e-commerce product and they will try to cold email it to people. I would not recommend that. I would recommend rather using cold email to generate partnerships. And actually, that is how I met Austin. That is the way we met him. It was via cold email. Yeah, I use cold email. So what I did is I scraped all the YouTubers that were talking about like lead generation and cold email, and I sent them all like a cold email. It was like 100, 200 of them. Just Austin replied back. Actually, I got like 20 replies out of like 200 people. So it was like a good reply rate. But now, like the email I sent was like very like lots of value. I'm not selling everything. I was literally like looking to partner with people, so obviously I'll get higher reply rates. But then out of those 20 YouTubers who replied, I picked the top one, which is Austin, right? So we ended up working with him. So it was great for us. It saved us so much time, right? Rather than like trying one YouTuber, then another one. Like we just ended up like being able to choose between 20 and just went for the best. So yeah.
I'm a YouTuber. What other questions do we have?
Regarding the setup, I already started trying to like go through the DNS servers, and I'm not sure if I started setting it up right. I think I might just have to start all over. But if we already have the domains purchased and already had set up a couple of emails, do we still go through the same process for setup, or how does that work?
Yeah, that's a good question. So if you already have the domains, you will have to follow like the step-by-step technical process, like the buy the email account separately. The done for you service is literally when you have nothing. I mean, you can still do it, right? But you will have to buy the domains from us, and you have to buy the email accounts because it's all automated. So that's why like it's all like connected, right? We just take care of everything for you. But otherwise, like it's not like a horrible process to do the entire technical setup process on your own. But as you're doing it on scale, let's say you're buying like 100 email accounts, or like when you have to do this with multiple domains and email accounts, it starts getting a little bit painful, and that's why some companies will outsource that and pay like $500, $1,000 to someone to do it because they're saving time and it's definitely worth it for them. But yeah, the automated technical setup process, like we made it so it just saves time and just minutes. Like you can set up 200 email accounts if you want. It's so easy.
What if they have domains only but not emails?
I mean, we provide both services. So if you use the done for use service, you need to buy both at the same time. Yeah. So if you only have domains, like you just have to follow like basically do the setup.
How long does the process take from inputting what domains we want to have purchased and having them set up?
It actually takes minutes. So for us, it takes minutes, but the DNS records to spread, they take somewhere between just a few hours to 72 hours maximum. That's usually like the range for the DNS records to spread. So yeah, it's just gonna depend on how fast they spread. Usually it takes like 1 or 2 days. But the email accounts to set up, like we set up everything in just minutes. It's all fully automated. It's just the DNS records that just take a while to spread through the internet.
I had one more question regarding the DMARC files. I wasn't too sure if this was something that we have access to without having to use a paid service, or is it something that we had to pay for? I couldn't find an answer on that through Instantly.
Yeah, I mean, so look, when you're setting up the DNS records, you have the SPF, you have the DKIM, you have DMARC, and MX records, right? So all of those 4 elements, you set them up on your domain register, right? There is where you set up all of these things. You create the records. You also, depending on the email account provider you use, it's Google or Outlook or Microsoft. You basically like follow the step-by-step there. And obviously we provide you with all the guidance. Like so you can reach out to our support team and we'll like guide you through the step-by-step. Like you're not alone on this. But yeah, that's not really depending on us. It's more about like it's part of the technical process that we automated really, because like then these kind of things happen, you know, like where people like have to research on their own, like what is DMARC, SPF and everything. And when you're doing it on a scale, it's just, it becomes more painful, right? So yeah, that's why we're very proud of like automating the process, because, you know, we expect people to have to deal less and less with these things. But yeah, answering your question, talk to our support team. We'll guide you through the step-by-step. It's something you set up on your domain record. I don't know if you use GoDaddy or one of those, but yeah, you set those things up there, and then you're good to go.
Thank you.
Who else got questions?
I'm ready to start.
Let's go. I mean, to me, it's like Instantly has made this so much easier. Like it's so easy to get everything set up. So if I'm here right now, Felipe, like how many emails should I be sending a day? Like what are the expectations? Like, is this going to make me money? Do I just send 100 emails and like get results from that? Like what are the expectations of cold email that you're seeing? And then volume, it really and time. So expectations, volume, and time. I think that's
yeah. I think like, you know, like there are too many gurus out there like offering like diamonds and stuff like that. You know, we usually like to start with the premise that it might not be for everyone, and the best is just to test, and you'll be surprised. Like maybe like you'll find a gold mine, and maybe it won't work for you. You know, so I think the best is just to test it. Test different angles. At the end of the day, the worst case scenario is that you're going to end up contacting an entire market with your offer, and then you will see if there's real interest for what you're doing or not. You will end up creating brand awareness. You know, people will start hearing about your company and your brand, and you will start knocking doors like very easily. You know, so this is like just scaling that process of like delivering flyers or making your brand get to know like to people, and just at a much higher scale. Now, we've noticed that the most successful companies, they have a high sending volume in order to get results. So usually volume is still king, but always keeping in mind, like, you know, not to spam people, right? Always keeping in mind to make sure you're targeting the right people with the right offer, with the right copy. So that's also a very important like component, like, right? So you want to have higher volume, but you don't want to spam people. But we have noticed that people who send like lots of emails, I'm talking about hundreds or thousands, they're more likely to get success. And the average reply rate we're seeing, like in order for you to actually continue with a campaign going, we usually tell people, if you're getting one reply every 200 to 300 emails, then you can continue with that campaign, positive reply. And then, if you're getting less, let's say you send 1,000 emails and you're getting no positive replies, maybe it's time to consider like changing something there, changing the copy, changing the database, changing like the offer, even the lead magnet. But yeah, it just allows you to test different things, basically.
Testing and volume, for sure.
Yeah.
And then guys listening, like, would love to work with you on copy. We use Instantly a ton with 3% reply rates with the agency space. I know there's people on here like Andrew who are getting really successful reply rates, and I've closed, I think Andrew closed like 30,000 like a couple of months ago from cold email, right, Andrew? I don't know if you're on the call and you can unmute and share. Maybe you can. But would love to review the copy with you guys and then make sure that it is dialed in. And then help you with testing and optimizations and all that sort of stuff. I wish Andrew could share his win for you, Felipe. But we're here to help on the copywriting. We're here to help on like getting you guys set up and making sure that we're efficiently using this. And it's, again, easier than ever if we can get this dialed in. So Felipe, the last thing that I want to do before we send you off is, so what's the best, so you mentioned 10%, so for all agency members, which is extremely graceful. So what do we need to do to get that? So we just need to like use the instantly chat feature and then say that, or what do we do?
Yeah, just all you have to do, like, I just came out with the idea now, okay? So that's why I didn't have a discount code. I was like, yeah, what the hell? Let's just deliver some value. So yeah, just if you like, obviously you can do a free trial with Instantly. If you end up liking it, just talk to our support team and just mention, hey, I was using a webinar with Felipe and Austin, and they mentioned a 10% off, and then the support team will like send me a message directly, and I will like, yeah, approve it. Like, why not? So yeah, 10% forever. So
cool. And then eventually, will you have a code that they could use? That'd be really easy.
Yeah, of course. For next time, I can try to find a way to give you a code. I'll just message the team and then send it to you directly in case you want to share it.
Okay, perfect. And we'll drop that just for everybody to use because we'll get more people on here. So
yeah.
Cool. Andrew says, yeah, 4K a month client and some others. Cool. So it works in the agency space, work for us, works for Gilberto. Yeah, would encourage us to follow the components that Felipe talked about, which was the technical setup, which is finding good data, which is writing good copy and having a good offer. And then volume and testing is king. That's like the huge takeaways that I got from Felipe that I think is worth echoing as we venture into the cold email space if we're going to do something like this.
Yeah, and if you want like a good combination, like whatever product you're selling, we like a good strategy we've noticed is combining cold email with retargeting. It works really well. What does this mean? So let's say you're sending people to visit your website and they're a hard cookie, right? Like they say they're not replying back, they're not booking meetings, or they're not buying the product. If you combine this with retargeting ads, if they visit your website, then they start getting retargeted, they're gonna start seeing your ad like on Facebook, on Meta, or on LinkedIn, and so on and so on. So basically, you're trying different fronts and always reminding them that you exist. So if you are very certain that you have a very clear target, like very exactly that, let's say agency owners or marketing directors, like these are the people that I need as clients, and I know that they're the right clients, right? So you could send them a cold email and then install a retargeting pixel on your website and then run to run ads, and then they're gonna get retargeted. You're trying different fronts. You're sending them follow-ups, an email, then you're seeing ads until one point they're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna respond back to this guy, or I'm just gonna fill the form and just buy their product, whatever it is. So it all comes down on reminding them that you exist at the end of the day.
Nope. Felipe, thank you so much for taking time. This is really helpful for everyone that joined. Bummer for everybody that did not join live. Thank you again. It's good to hear everything from your mouth and the horse's mouth, because there can be a lot of confusion about